The first emotion I ever remember feeling was fear. There was abuse of every kind, physical, sexual, emotional, spiritual. Both my parents would go into fits of rages and kind of take it out on me or my brothers and sisters. In the midst of that, my brother was sexually abusing me, and I couldn't say anything about it, even though I was just experiencing pain, and I coped with it by trying to hide. When I was 14, my oldest brother, he collapsed on the floor in the middle of the night and just died because his spleen had ruptured. He had given me so much strength and hope. And he had told me to just get out of the house as fast as possible, make as many friends as you can, like life is better. I just felt like part of me had died as well, and I didn't have the strength to live anymore. I just began cutting myself because it helped numb the pain and helped me think about something else. I started having to be hospitalized often because situations where I would almost die and people would notice and I would be a suicide watch. I developed an eating disorder to gain control. I felt like if I just didn't eat, I wouldn't feel anything. And I silently wanted to just slowly fade away and die. And I had plans to go and find the sleeping pills that my mom took. And I was just gonna take all of them and it'd be over. But lots of times at night, I would just listen to music because it helped me not feel as alone. Like in those nights, when listening to music, it's what gave me hope and helped me continue living through the words in the songs. And I identified music therapy as a profession. And so it was at that point where I was just like, all right, I have to get help first before I'm gonna help other people. And so when I came to Mercy, I was terrified because there are all these people who I didn't know if I could trust them. I started reading the Bible again, and I read one verse, and it was like, don't fear, the people in this town are from me. That verse gave me so much peace. And I was just like, okay, start trusting. And when I was there was the first time I ever identified the feeling of safety. Every day I was seen, and it was not a bad thing to be seen. It was because they loved me, and I began to understand that God was getting me, but not in the way that I initially thought he would be getting me. And so it was just sifting out all of those lies that I had been taught and replacing them with truths that were so much better. That Mercy, the first step was just reconnecting to Christ and understanding that I wanted a relationship with him because he loved me and would care for me, and he was never gonna leave me, and he was never gonna abandon me. When I was at Mercy, my body began to heal and began to have energy again. And one of the things that my counselor encouraged me to do was to begin singing again. I would go to the corner of the yard or the back porch, and I would just, every time the anxious thoughts, darkness, I would start singing worship songs. And I've continued to just utilize music as this way of connecting with God's presence to gain strength and peace and healing and continuing to process life. When I graduated from Mercy and chose not to go home, I didn't know what my future was going to be, but God provided every step of the way. The year I turned 30 was the year that I married my now husband, and it has been so healing and unbelievable that I would ever get married. I'm now a music therapist, the same hospital that I went in for psych care, helping kids through music, because now I have experienced God's healing. I've experienced his presence, and I've experienced his hope. I know God can do anything. I never thought I would be here, so how much more could happen?